It's going to shit afterwards because of multiple reasons. So, welcome back. I can extend it for just a little bit if they're still here. I like literally clicked the button and saw the raid team join up. Bit different. Alright, so I guess keep on going. Alright, hello guys, welcome. If you're joining the stream, I'm painting the sorceress from the game Dragon's Crown. Artwork that I'm copying is over here on the side. Well, thank you, thank you. Got a couple other ones if you want to take a look, but I slowly work on piece by piece. Just let me know and I'll pull them out. Anyway, I guess I'll work on fixing the cup again. Yeah, it's so far I've been today I worked on the hair here and the cups. So far I've been working on the rest of it as piecemeal. Alright, give me one moment though. I need to move this cup up a little bit. It's a bit too far down. Not quite enough curvature. But yeah, let's see here. Let's start with, well, I guess start with one. Give me a moment. Oh, wrong function. Here we are. Give me just 2 seconds. Alright. Hello, hello. Not the best angle, but here is what we got. One of them. Hey, too many problems. Brightness. Balance. Yeah, this is Beatrice from Umineko. There we go. One of the first ones I did, and again from another pre-made portrait. None of the ones I did, except for Sailor Moon, are these are all ones I've recreated. I did not have the original artwork, but I did paint this canvas. If you go find up this artwork, you can find it exactly as it is here. Yeah, her name is Beatrice, the one I just put away from the game Umineko, and currently the music you're listening to. There is Beatrice again. This is Beatrice the Elder. This one is still unfinished. I need touch-ups on it a bit more. Mostly done, but it's that's about it. There. Link from Majora's Mask. This one should be the most easily recognizable one of them all. Well, actually technically the next one probably is. But yeah, these were all artworks I recreated and started painting with. This one here is the one exception to all the other ones. This is one I made myself, fully OC other than the character. It's Sailor Moon doing one of her weird poses, but I decided to do it upside down because why not? But one of the neat things about this one, apparently it works just fine upside down as well. And I didn't really plan it that way, but that's the way it ended up, which is kind of cool. Yeah, but this was one I drew, painted, and designed from scratch with the Sailor Moon character. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's what I've been up to. Alright, so I'm gonna turn that back off. There. And give me a sec. There we are. And actually, probably turn that down a little bit more. There we are. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. Technically I can sell all this stuff if any of you guys want to. If any of you guys want it, name or price. I'm not quite sure what to charge with it because I spent a hell of a lot of money on paint to do any of this stuff. But yeah, if you're interested, let me know. Maybe. I don't know. It's a thing I'll probably have to do at some point, but I'm not quite at that stage yet. Though I am looking into doing commission work type of things as well. So on that subject, I'm not quite sure where to begin with it. Why are you like that? This camera is so finicky and it really bugs the hell out of me. I'll figure it out later. What have you. It's kind of laggy. I don't know why. It does that occasionally when I mess with some of the settings. Well, that's kind of like a duh statement, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking into doing a fair amount of artwork in the foreseeable future. Hell, I'm moving in order to facilitate some of that. But yeah, it's one thing at a time, I guess. One of the other things I'm having trouble replicating is the roundness of these clothing. They're not just a flat triangle. It's a curved shape, which is a bit hard to pin down exactly why. Or how, rather. And it's all these more today than you thought. Well, it is one of the goals. I am gonna be doing some of this off stream, but I can go for a little bit longer, maybe until my internet starts crapping out. And it's a hit or miss on when that happens. Sometimes it's immediately at 6, sometimes it's a bit later. Yay! Rural internet. Shit. But yeah, it's part of life though. It's an adventure. Live and learn. Just a bit more. Okay, so here I did have a okay, so you're there. You're like that. It's still off. Why is it still off? Let's redo this one. I'm trying so because it needs a bit of a curve here. I think maybe this one needs to overlap some. I don't know. Okay, let's work with that. Bit here. Oh yeah, and on the subject, just notice your comment here. I got multiple chat names, but thank you for the Sailor Moon comment on the eyes. That was actually the last thing I did on the painting. It was the eyes, and I was worried that they weren't going to come out quite right, but they came out a lot better than I thought they would. Normally, I have a lot of trouble with the face. The face, eyes, and getting everything lined up is really difficult, but Sailor Moon actually turned out pretty uneventful. It's like you put on the white, put on the blue, put on the highlight, and it turned out like first try. It was really weird. Things don't happen like that. Normally I have to like erase, start from scratch, and do it over many times. But apparently it worked out, which is really strange. I'm not used to things working out quite like that the first try. So this one goes up to here and goes down to there. This one fill up just a bit more. Come on back down, and hopefully that'll right here. I think this one is a little too high. Bit there, and then it curves back down. All right, cool. There we go. Just a bit more depth to it. All right, so I'm gonna try see if I can fix this bit here. this has to be a bit of a curve, and the line flows a bit over here, just a bit. I'm still trying to master the art of I'm forgetting the term, but the illusion of detail. I keep wanting to put the actual detail there, but you can't do that in art. Like for instance, there's a curve here, or at least I'm trying to put a curve there. And in order to make it, I'm putting bits here and there to make it look like there's a curve here. It's really kind of frustrating getting it to look right like that. It's alright, so that's that. And I think the other ones is this line. Okay, so it is a bit of a gray, so let's go with a bit. Nope, can't do that. So alright, so let's go with maybe an overlap. The outline here, maybe that'll work out for us. Let's work with. I'm still learning how to do all this shit. So it's kind of frustrating when I don't know what to do. But that's part of what learning is, I guess. Figuring it out as you go. Draw just a little. Well, speaking of different ways to draw, my mom brought in an oddity. She doesn't quite. When she's tried artwork and painting and such in the past, and she wants to try and do art to make money. That's her main focus for wanting to do any of that stuff. But she brought up the fact that how like these people, they like draw bits and pieces, and she doesn't like it. Just draw the whole thing and like put it all one color and then make it go. Then I told her, well, you're kind of dismissing the way I actually do it. She's like, you're right, that is the way you do it. Because like right now I've got like these legs basically almost complete. I've got this shirt mostly done, and I'm piecemeal my way slowly across the artwork. And she's one who does it like all at once, or at least tries to anyway. Tries to. And she didn't quite realize at first there are different ways to do it and like why they would work. And it's fascinating seeing how different people react to different things, or how they go about different objects, tasks and such. Still driving me nuts. Why is this? Maybe that's what it is. That might be what it is. That might be what it is. I'm still trying to figure out why certain things work the way they are. And this is one that I've noticed a fair bit. The reason the curve looks weird, potentially, that's what I'm working with here, is that this part here isn't quite lined up right. Let's go with a bit wider on that one so it shows up better. Maybe that work. And it's just kind of crazy how just small little details in a different area can affect something over here. And this goes overlap still. Okay. All right, and there we go. There we go. But yeah, it's okay. But again, it's like, I think what I'm missing here is the illusion of depth, because like right about here, I could have a little bit of a line indicating that it progresses a bit further than the original. It's like all this little stuff I'm trying to pay attention to, trying to keep in mind and learn. when you shade it. And that is one of the biggest ones. It's like you work really hard to get it to look right, and it's still just off, and you can't quite place it. And then you put the shading in, and it looks perfect. And it's like, it still blows my mind. For instance, like the skin here, it's currently just a flat tone, and I'll need some shading for like up here, the shoulder and the leg. Still got to figure out how I'm gonna do that. One of the problems I've found with this painting is her skin is very, very pale, and I've been working on a very flat light style, like a fluorescent or some such. It could work, but in the painting, she's got a fire light, and so it's a very yellow light. And I can't just change the lighting on the painting. I have to kind of make new colors for it. So I'm not sure how to go about that one. But it is what it is. Alright. Oh, this should be a bit different. Maybe. Not all that over important. Just a little lace triangle. Okay, so I think we got these one, and you can tell different styles. Like for instance, on this cup here, I've got this triangle lace kind of pointing out in that direction. This one mostly up, and the ones over here pointing out in that direction. I tried it here, but they all still kind of generally point up. It's odd subtleties like that I'm trying to pay attention to and fix and correct, but I'm not overly sure if I can. Okay, so let's work with some outlining. I think I've got a bit over here on this line. Give me one moment. Shit. It's really hard making very fine lines with a paintbrush. This goes across like that. And then I guess I'll just finish it off down over here. I still need a little bit of skin color right there, but that looks alright. Well, weird things, there's a lot of weird things to talk about, but outlines and such make a big difference to how things look, and I can't place or explain quite why. But it's like an effect. It's there. It's not something you can just ignore. There's that. And there's that. There's that. Very, very faint lines. Like that. And then she's got her outer one here, which goes up like that. Loops back down. This comes a little bit like that. And then there was a bit of outlining over here because of the light. And I need more paint. I still treat it like digital artwork every so often, where I can just sit there and keep going, but that's not quite how the real world works. There, and I've got that overlapping it this way. All right, right there, and slight bit here, followed by just a tiny bit of shadow here. Not quite that dark for the rest of it. I need a lighter shadow. which means that'll be something I'll have to mix up. Alright. So, shoulder. Yeah. Too much paint. Superpowers would be nice in the real world. Yes and no, depending on who has them. But on that train of thought, actually, it is fascinating seeing they're trying to figure out how things would be accounted for in the real world. Like, for instance, I think the anime Boku no Hero Academia, My Hero Academy, or whatever the specific wording is. I can never remember what the Academy, Academia, whichever one it is. I can't remember specifically, but they have a world where everybody's got a power. Like, everybody has some weird kind of power. And then how would you facilitate a world with that? How would you account for that? You could, because a lot of people could go into very, very criminal activities, which there are some in there, but it would be very simple, and you wouldn't really be able to enforce laws with how some of them work, like mind control or shit like that. So how would you... This is fascinating, trying to figure out, like, daily things, or like how you would go about it. Like, for instance, somebody who grows like a third arm or something, they have something where they can just get another limb. Technomancy, power to control technology. Yeah, shit like that. Like, you can control technology, you can listen on into anything. How would you stop that? How would you account for that? How would anybody with any antivirus security measures work with that? Main point is that they kind of wouldn't. But it's fascinating trying to just think of how those kind of things would, like, take place, because they're not going to just stop existing unless you physically deny it in the world. Like, word of God, guns cannot exist, therefore they can't exist in the world. But yeah, it gets very bizarre trying to... The paint dried as I was talking to you. It gets bizarre trying to think of all these other things, and like we were talking about before, the suspension of disbelief. Some things you can suspend your disbelief on, and paint. Why? And it's fascinating just seeing the differing ways and how it would unfold. Now, to be fair, they're an artist with a fictional world, or author, and you can't quite really account for everything. That would be monumentally, crazily impressive. So I don't blame them for having flaws in the world, because you just can't think of all that shit. You just can't. But at the same time, it's like, some of them you would need to keep an eye on. Some of them, like, yeah, you kind of need to account for that. Especially for, like, plot hole type stuff. It's like, well, if he had that power and it's not illegal to do this, why didn't he just do this? Because I didn't think of it? Let me recheck that real quick. But yeah, it's like, in a world of superpowers, how would you account for people being able to do just about anything? How would you secure anything from somebody with super strength? How would you do any of that stuff? It's really fascinating trying to figure it out. So pigmented. The hair is actually not consistent at all. I had to mix that. But I'm just using paint. Using Academy Grumbacher for one, and I'm using like Graham & Co. acrylic artist color for the other. I kind of mix them between, but those are the colors I'm using. For the skin, I used What did I use? I think it was just Naples yellow and white for the skin, with maybe, what the hell else? Maybe a tinge of red to get some skin tone on it, but I don't think I used enough of it. Yeah, they're acrylics. It's just my palette that I'm using. Acrylics dry really fast. They dry really fast. But then they don't. Like, I've had this black that I'm using that just kind of goes out. Commercials and games. Oh yeah, ZBrush is quite the impressive program. Shirts or hats or whatever textile. So cool. Well, which is actually kind of odd, because acrylic is water soluble. It shouldn't. It should come off, technically. But not quite sure what you're using, so I can't really comment. Yeah, I'm using Artist Paint Acrylics. So I don't quite know much more about it. Hell, I quite literally picked these up off the shelf and said, I'm going to try painting. And that's what I did. But for the colors, most of the colors I had to mix. Had to mix the hair. Had to mix this ham color, this meat color, this skin color, this color here. This one here, it's not quite just black, it's a little bit of a mix. Mixing colors is troublesome. And my internet hasn't wigged out yet. It's kind of amazing. Alright. So if it goes till 7, I will call it there. That's likely a hard limit, so still gonna keep going. Oh yeah, one other thing. If I were to, I don't do it. I normally just like close the stream, but you guys reminded me. I don't do much rating. I don't do it at all. Not quite sure why. I think it was like early on. I didn't quite know what the hell I was doing. Hell, I still don't. This needs to be rounder. But how would you handle rating to someplace else? I can't quite look at anybody I'm rating to. For a couple of reasons. My video is poor, and my stream will like wig out as I'm looking up for things. I'm on limited type internet. And this resolution is about the best I can do. I could potentially push it, but not really. Oh, thank you. I could use more credit. It would be nice, but I think part of it, the reason I don't have much credit is nobody knows I exist. Roughly speaking, it's not literally. But like internet-wise, I am a no-name person, which is actually okay with me. I don't need to be famous, but it would be nice being a bit more well-known. Would help out in other endeavors too. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Why would I not do what I want to do? It's a pretty simple, straightforward thing. You know what? That's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. Since the hair is like right here, it's like off, and I need to get the actual shading before I do final line work. I'm trying to do cart before the horse and all that stuff. They had a few. Yeah, I don't quite know what the time frames work out here. Most of my time frame is limited by my own internet availability, which is why I'm at such weird hours. But I want to try and experiment and go in different time slots. See some that may work a bit better, because currently it's right now 6:30 in the morning for what I'm streaming. Normally I start at 4 in the morning, which is not a time zone for like anybody to be up at. Which makes it all the more kind of remarkable that you guys have found me. Just me here in the middle of the morning, the night. Nope. Alright. You get new viewers as well. And yeah, I know, it's like, for the most part, I've been streaming at the same time zone for, well, I think 2 years now. I've been doing this. And it's the same rough time zone, and I'm still the same amount of viewers, roughly. Mostly because my viewers tend to be foreign, or if they're native, like Americans, they aren't awake, like, at all. Nor is the morning a good time to stream for a lot of people, I'd imagine. Most people would seem to want to watch things after work or so. So that would probably be a place I need to focus on. I've thought about a lot of this, though I don't quite know the best place to do it. 8, 9 in the morning. And then there's oddballs like you. It's like, can't deny that. Or hell, most of my viewers tend to be oddballs. Yeah, this time slot is very weird. For me, it's like really early in the morning, but for a lot of other people, it's really late at night. So there's very little overlap. And the stuff that's there isn't quite a lot. I'm not really complaining, I'm just noticing this stuff. Or at least trying to be a bit better. Yeah, it's the only time you can have creative or have peace. I've been there. I know exactly what that's like. I used to work hobby-wise really late at night. Like after everyone else went to sleep. 'Cause that was a big one for me. I like the night. I am the night. Yeah, I used to do my artwork, crafting, chainmail, stuff like that. Sculpting was a big one at the time. At night because, one, everyone's asleep and it's nice, peaceful, quiet. I have it all to myself. I can do whatever, which is really nice. And nobody else is on, so I can like use the internet if I have to, as opposed to fighting for it. What the hell are you? Which is a really troublesome thing, having to fight for the internet. It's like the modern equivalent of dial-up now. Towards the day. Yeah, I find I do pretty good in the mornings, but the rest of the world doesn't quite agree with that. I don't know. I've always felt weird at the times I do things, because I don't know. It feels kind of natural for me to do it at those odd hours, but it doesn't really work. Like, when I was doing it at the night, it was like 10 o'clock at night is when I was working on things. But that doesn't really help with having a good sleep schedule, especially if you need to wake up early. So having it at that time slot was odd. And then there's this one where I'm up at 3 in the morning doing time slots, and it works, but not really. If any of that makes sense. But yeah, that's one thing I always struggle with, trying to find a time slot that works, that actually is sustainable. Because currently I stream and turn off early because internet is actually going really good today. I think I might be able to make it till 7. This is an oddity. And trust me, it's an oddity. But I stream this early so I can avoid other people and do things solely for me without anyone interfering. Yeah. But that's nice, but I'm still limiting myself. Things would work better in a different time slot, quite honestly. But I don't have the ability to do that where I'm at. Again, one of the reasons I'm moving. Alright, so the set's looking okay. The camera still off. But I haven't done anything with it, so that's understandable. No. But yeah, time slots are so weird. I tend to just end up being so splintered and fractured with how I set up my time slots for everything. Like, instead of having like 3 hours of this thing, 5 hours of this thing, whatnot, it's an hour of this, some of this, shift back over to here, sleep here, and it functions, but it's not practical in the truest sense of the word. But yeah, it's something to work on. And I'm gonna gripe here a bit, but streaming. Well, simple question, but why don't you do it? If it's something you like doing it, then go do it. If you can't, then it's one thing, but you're reaching certain goals. It's the same here. I did have some in the beginning to try and get it going, but streaming works when you have an audience to go to. Well, it's better when you have people to talk to, because I spent a good deal of time just sitting there doing nothing. I was discouraged, especially when I was trying to do it for a business. But yeah, streaming's a fun little hobby. You sit there and just very toxic environment. So I thought, there's that aspect. Yep. I guess in that respect, I've lucked out with what I've got. You guys are pretty awesome for everyone I've run into. I've had a few weird guys. I've only ever banned like 2 people my whole time streaming, and they were just odd. One dude kept asking me to take off my shirt, which I did occasionally because I do belly dancing, but he just kept pushing it, which was really weird. So he ended up being banned. I think he was like some plaid guy. I don't know. Yeah, it's can't remember his name, but yeah, he was just very odd. It started out with like, it's being silly, whatnot. Dude coming in, saying some random thing. Oh yeah, sure, I can play along for that. But he'd come back and kept pushing things. It was very weird. I told him to stop. He didn't, and so I banned him. Simple as that. Never came back. And for me, I don't need the views. I would much rather have a small or dedicated group that actually is on the same page than like, I've got 3 million followers, yeah, let's all go do whatever. Because at that point, people are no longer people, they're just a number. It's like I've got 3 million followers, name them. I got a couple. But here, it's ZBrush, Cyrus, I know you guys. Like, you guys are people I've come to actually know. And so I can actually talk to you on a personal level, not just as a generic level. Because that is one thing, is like, you go from talking to individual people to talking to chat, which is a really weird distinction, but you see it happen, especially with the larger guys, and they can't just, because if they sat down and stopped and talked with each person on an individual level, rather, they wouldn't get anywhere. It just doesn't work time-wise. Well, you can. I'm not going to stop you from asking shit, but I kind of know that you won't. Well, sort of. like I said, I do belly dancing, so it's not uncommon for me to take off my shirt. And I'm not. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. It wasn't just a shirt. He kept asking what kind of pants I have. That was the weird thing. He kept asking what kind of pants I was wearing. It's like, jeans? Can you show me? They're jeans. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. It was weird. Yeah. I've been rambling here. I haven't been keeping up with chat. Give me a sec. I'm getting, say they're in love. Yeah, there's that bit. It sounds like you might need a moderator and somebody to run things for you to help with that. Because honestly, moderators do help quite a bit. They can enforce your rule of law, but yeah. Just try to be nice to everyone. It's, in essence, being nice to people is a good thing, but you have to set boundaries. Boundaries are very important. When you say don't cross this line, they cross that line. Say, well, all right, don't do it again. You've now shifted the boundary further away from them, and they'll just keep pushing it as long as you let them. So you got to have a boundary. Even if it seems mean, boundaries are very important. It's like, don't cross this line. Cross the line, you cross the line. I got to actually enforce it now. But it's not about being rude. They're being rude by pushing boundaries. It's you've got it backwards. It's, yeah. So it becomes toxic. Yeah, but yeah, it becomes toxic. Let's do better 2 verse early rather than 12 lurkers. Yeah, there's that one as well. Ban someone else's stream. I feel. Look at Vera, take off your jacket. Yeah, there's that type of people that are out there. You get a ban him. They randomly become chat because, like hell, like big streamers, the chat bar is just flowing and flowing and flowing, and you can't keep track of any of it. And it's like trying to read any comment is pointless. At that point, it's just not quite what it started out as. Well, let's be calling chat. Yeah, imitate them. Yeah. Well, imitation is a form of flattery. Background music is Umineko. It has been for a while. It's some of the stuff that doesn't get flagged. Ish. I think I should actually check on that. Those are the websites. Atmospheric. Well, that's one thing I do like enjoying. And trying to work at is having a very relaxing, chill, just nice place to be. It's what I work towards. And if you miss streaming, you can start again with a different username. You'd be like mostly unheard of, and like a lot of the drama and baggage would probably go away until they found you again or what have you. But you can always do that. And on that note, I'm actually looking at changing my name a bit, mostly because I need to change the name on my emotes to something different. Truck commands. I misunderstood it when I was originally setting it up, and I didn't realize it was one word permanently for everything and not a moddable thing for everything else. So yeah, it's I gotta fix that. But the only way I know to fix it is to change the name, but I like my name, so it's one of those weird things. And there are various bad aspects to it, yes. No. It's not selfish at all. Hell, it's being selfish is a good thing. People forcing you to not take care of yourself, that's the bad thing. Cope with problems. And it's okay. You can cope with problems. It's, at least if it's in a healthy manner and not like binge drinking or some shit like that. Forget about all that. It can be. Now, I don't know your situation entirely, and I can't comment on it, but as long as it's a way to deal with problems, there are different things. Hell, one of the ways I deal with problems is actually sleeping. If I get like really stressed, worked out, or problems massively, I take a nap. Things work out. I do art, and it's actually doing okay. I've done a bit of just mindless drawing. Just sit there and just make lines and draw random shapes and things and just let it be what it is. Just letting go and forgetting about stuff. It happens. Good streams. Who already got a bit famous. I've never encountered that, but I hate that. The problem with a lot of like streaming stuff is the websites themselves want income. And income is determined by viewers, so they prioritize and promote things that encourage more viewers and shit. Makes sense, but in that essence, in order for a person to increase those numbers, they do shady things like that shit. I try not to ignore you. I just get caught up in like the things I'm painting or talking about to not read chat entirely. I like being on a personal level on people. It works a hell of a lot better. Hell, I do this at work, where people come in with problems and I talk with them as a person and not push the button, push this, do that, do this. Okay, so yeah, whatever, go do this. Once you get to that impersonal level, things get weird. It like they stop becoming what they are elsewhere, and that's the big that comment right there. I can spend my time somewhere else doing other things. That's actually something you should listen to, ZBrush. Let's see if you like the content. You are living your own life. Your time is does not come back. Whatever time you spend doing things is time that will never come back. So it's you don't crave attention. It's about spending your life and your time doing things you want and things that are good for you. For me, painting. Painting is what's working out for me. Streaming is what's keeping me painting, doing things and letting me progress along in life. And so I'm doing what I need to do. It's technically selfish of me to do this and hog the internet from other people, but there is no way for a person to not be selfish. It's physically impossible. I've like thought about it. I've gone through all the logic. It is impossible to exist and not be selfish. Not North Korea. Some people. Oh yeah, no, I know. But like, if you're ever worried about being selfish, you're already not being selfish. It's everybody needs at least some level of selfishness. Like, if you were to always give your food to somebody else to be selfless, you would starve. If you were to give somebody your house, your apartment, so that they could live there, and then you would die from exposure in the weather, that would technically not be selfish. But you need it. You need to be selfish to survive, to live, to exist. So there's no shame in being selfish. The shame comes when you push it to extremes and going on the offensive, the aggressiveness. That's my muffin. You can't have it ever at all. It's like, no, I want the muffin, so I'm going to take it. But sorry that you didn't miss out on it, but I'm going to take it because I want to. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a horrible one. And I don't quite know what to say, so I'm not going to dwell on it, or at least try not to. Time is a rarity. And yes, time is definitely a rarity. It's something I'm starting to notice a bit too, which is time values no money. But it's one of the things is time and a limit on life a bit give us a reason to push and go and do, because really thank you. I like to try and help people and just talk about things and share a bit more of the good in the world. Love is the best medicine. It most of the time. Sometimes actual medicine is the best medicine, but yeah, we get the picture. But if one of the things, it's a weird topic, but it applies, is there was these people who did a survey, or like they asked a lot of people at the end of their life what they regret the most, and what they regret was the most out of all of them was not doing what they wanted to do and just living their life as is. And so that's one thing I want to avoid, not wasting my life, but not doing what I wanted to do. Because if you just go through life, that same old stuck up dead end job, and you just do that for the rest of your life, and then that's it, and you're not happy with it, what was the point of it all? Go out and do what you want. Hell, I went to Germany, spent all the money I had, and went to a country I've never been, halfway around the world with people I've never seen, and had a blast. And then I came back and I was okay. Things worked out. It's okay to take risks. It's okay to do different things. It's okay to do what you want to do, because that's why they're there. We have things where we have hobbies for a reason. We have interests for a reason. If you don't do them, life would be a lot duller. Not quite as fun. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's yeah, I went to Germany for Comic-Con, because a lot of my viewers are from European countries, and there was a Comic-Con in Germany, and we decided to all meet up there. And then I got my funds together and made it a single trip there and back. It's a very short trip. I would have stayed longer if I could, if I thought about it, rather, but it is what it is. Trapped there for 4 months. Yeah, there's that whole fiasco. But yeah, it's nice. It's a nice place. One of the things I found was just the atmosphere, kind of it. I was in, I think, Berlin at the time. It was a bit different than what I'm used to in America. There were church bells that rang, and they said, oh yeah, they're normal. I honestly have never heard a church bell until that point, other than a movie or whatnot. Nuremberg. Alright, cool. It's yeah, I think it was, yeah, the Berlin Comic Con is yeah, it was the Berlin. There was a debate about which convention to go to. Now I'm kind of not remembering which one it was. But yeah, it was over there. Oh yeah, that was another thing. The trees. The trees were different. It's something so silly and stupid, but I noticed the trees were different, which is pretty cool. And it's just, what I loved the most was all the little things. The heroes were different. Walking down the streets, people put stickers on things, and the streets were alive. It's like people were actually here and not just a city. The street was cobblestone. The buildings were old, and it was just cool. Just seeing all the different things and different habitats. Because in America, there ain't nothing old. The oldest thing we have is Native American things, which are like pretty much non-existent. They're like teepees and shit. Or like old colonial thing from like 200 years ago at most. But like in Europe, things have been there for like thousands of years. I didn't see a lot of it. I think I saw a few castles from the plane, but that stuff is old. It has a history. It's there, and you can feel it. It's a neat, fascinating little thing. But yeah, it's stuff like that. It's go out and enjoy life. That's, if there's anything I can portray to people and give them, it's Transylvania. Can't confirm. There's a stupid joke in there, but you've probably already heard it. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to enjoy life, and currently, because my grandfather is older than 100 years. That's pretty cool. It's like, oh, I've got a neighbor down that way, and they had a place that was built by somebody in the 1800s. It was like an Italian immigrant or some such. He came down here, built his own cabin, and lived his life on this property, and then he handed it down to whoever. It's nothing in the family, they bought it afterwards, but it was a neat little story about it. But yeah, it's go out and experience life. It's like here, I'm currently debating on whether I should stay here or move to Texas to pursue some of the stuff I want to do. And it's very heavily the big question of leaving is for a selfish reason, staying is for a selfless reason. If I stay, I can help out the people in the business, my job, family, friends. I can still be with them and hang out and do stuff with them. But currently, my life is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. I have the internet problem. I can't stream as much as I'd like to. I'm a very small town. I don't have the things I personally want to partake in. The things I do like, belly dance, artwork. It's very small. Very few people actually do it. Hell, the art store I get my stuff from, the paint has dust on it. Some of the colors are even faded from the outer shell. They've been there for so long. People don't do it. And so I could live here, I could stay here, it could be okay, but I wouldn't be enjoying my life to the fullest. So I'm deciding not to do it. I'm gonna move out, do something that is completely terrifying to me, and go and try and live my life like I want to, on my terms. and that's it. Part of the problem is I don't feel that strong about it, which is my personal dilemma. It's a step up, but it's not perfect, and I want something different. It's one of these weird situations. That right there, yeah, you never know how that would lead you to what you truly want to achieve. Now, for instance, I am like the perfect example of that. I needed something to do, so I looked up hobbies and things to do, something outside of the house a few years ago. And I found ballroom dancing. It's like they had classes. I said, you know what the hell? Let's give it a shot. Let's go dancing and see what happens. Found out I am good at it, found out I enjoy it, so I wanted to pursue it. The classes ended, wanted something more, found belly dancing. Belly dancing is awesome, it's fun, I did it, had a blast, changed my life. And part of that helped me become more open to public, speaking and dancing and doing things, which is why I can speak on camera a bit easier now. And that led me to streaming. That streaming led me here. The streaming led me to painting. This painting is leading me to Texas, where I can go and do some art stuff. And all of that happened because of a whim on something I wanted to do. I wanted to try dancing, so now I'm moving to Texas. If you look at it in weird ways like that. But yeah. It is 7 o'clock, an hour past what I normally would be, so I'm going to have to call it a bit here. But yeah, thank you very much for stopping in. And I hope you enjoyed at least some of it. But yeah, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Whenever you guys pop in, it's always a pleasure for me. It's like I do too. And part of it is you only really see them if you're looking for them. If you always think my life sucks, I didn't do this, and you're never looking for things to happen or never pursuing some of that stuff, it won't happen. The same thing will be what it is. But yeah, thanks for the raid, man. Oh yeah, speaking of, you want me to raid somewhere else? I can do something like that, but I think it's /raid, something else. If you want me to, you'll have to like come up with it next like 2 minutes, because I'm not doing any searching. I'd have to pull up all sorts of stuff. But yeah, thank you for the stream, thank you for the raid and the extended session. It's been interesting and it actually worked out. But yeah, I hope you all have a nice day. Please come back again. That's all you. Alright, so no raid, I'll just end it and you guys can go about your day. Maybe I'll look into it for next time. Anyway, see ya. Take care.